name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Max Bendich, and I'm going to be your host. And my guest tonight is my father, Max Bendich, and it's a continuation of last week's show. And where we left off was that my father and mother have met, and I guess that's a good place to start. You've met, and you're at this point that you've been dating for about a year, and what happens?
What happened? She wanted to get married. Her name is not she, Dorothy.
Dorothy Bendich.
Dorothy Bendich.
But it used to be Dorothy Matoran.
Dorothy Bendich.
Right.
She wanted to get married when she was 21 years old.
Right.
She was born on November 17th.
Right.
So I said, fine. So November
17th, 1920.
1920.
So
and
when she turned 21,
she became 21 on the 17th. We got married 3 days later.
And the date of that was November 20th, 1941.
1941.
Okay.
And a few days later, a new date came up, December 7th, 1941.
Right.
Bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Right.
Oh,
so you were married for 2 weeks.
We were married for 2 weeks, and yet it changed our lives, our future. We knew something else had to happen to us.
Right.
I didn't want to be, I knew I was going to be called. I didn't know about my brothers.
Drafted?
But
you thought you were going to get drafted?
There was a draft at that time. And I'm 26. It's about time that they drafted me.
Right.
Right. And so I don't want to be in the infantry. I'm too old.
So if you were drafted, you would automatically go into the infantry? Is that how it worked?
No, when you're drafted, when you're drafted, means they're going to call you. Drafting means they give you a number, and when your number comes, you go. And you usually go to Fort Dix, right across the river in Jersey, and you get basic training. And from Fort Dix, I was going to go to Fort Monmouth, about 10 minutes from there. Why? First of all, you can almost walk from Fort Monmouth to New York.
But you enlisted, right, Dad?
I enlisted.
Right.
And Fort Monmouth to New York. It was close. That's the only reason I wanted.
So Mom was still in the house, and you were in Jersey?
Yeah.
And you were able to go to visit her in the house?
Yeah. Simple, easy.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yes.
I don't know how it worked.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. On the day off,
instead
of base, the day off, you go down to and
was Mom working back then when you were in the Army?
Mom worked in a government. GAO, it was called, the General Accounting Office.
Right.
All right. And, Mom, so we went, the train went from there to Monmouth.
Yeah.
Stopped 10 minutes before.
Right.
There was an epidemic in Monmouth.
Yeah. And
this is in December. So they gave us a broken train, because when you're riding only a short distance, the troops need a big one. And we went from there to Neosho and
Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri.
Right.
And it was one of the best times, a good time for me to join that. I went into that place.
Well, and Mom went with you, right?
No, Mom. Wait, Mom. A little later, we were there to learn how to make. Telephone companies.
Right.
When you're in the front, so this company is calling up, and this company is calling up, and that company, and then you have to have something that has to coordinate all those.
Right.
And it wasn't so difficult. You put wires here and wires there and everything else.
Right.
And
there's an interesting story about that, because aren't you colorblind, Dad?
It's not the idea. I became colorblind later, but I knew numbers, something to do with numbers.
Right.
And they found out they would get a better result from me as a soldier if I became a clerk than if I became a telephone.
Signal Corps.
Both of it, only in the Signal Corps. I became a clerk, and I spent the next 4 years as a clerk in the Signal Corps.
Right.
I became a corporal, a technician, 5th grade, which is the corporal, but a little less than a corporal because it's 2 stripes with a T.
Right.
Technician. All right. You got maybe 2 or 3. I don't remember how much money. Oh, at that time, what did we do with the money? No, $30 a month.
Right.
they divided it, the government.
Right.
$10 has to go to your parents.
Right.
$10 have to go to your
The government
wife.
did that?
Huh?
The government did that?
Yeah, I think the government.
Okay.
$10 goes to your wife.
Yeah.
$10 goes for insurance.
Right.
So how much have you got?
So
No, really. Everybody had. This happened to everybody.
So how long were you in Missouri?
I was in Missouri. Oh, wait. All of a sudden, I get a letter from Mom in Missouri. I am coming over to meet you and to live get a house and to live on near the post.
Right.
She comes to Missouri, and at that time, so she went to Neosho, Missouri, which wasn't. You take a bus to go to camp, and in Neosho, Missouri, it wasn't such a expensive place, and people were poor. And she was able to rent a house, half a house.
Right.
But because of that, on my day off, I was given permission to sleep off base.
Oh, that's great.
For 9 months.
Right.
This is 9 months that she was with me.
Okay.
Finally, we got,
When did you get your orders to go overseas?
Just now, I want to tell you, finally we get our notice that we're going overseas.
Right.
Okay. Mom stops work. She was working for officers and the post, making more money sometimes than the lieutenant.
Right.
No, and she had girls working for her. And she goes home.
Right.
And then I come back. Now let me tell you something that I don't even know if I told you before.
Right.
So we get ready to go overseas.
Right.
We go on the Mauritania.
Right.
The Mauritania was one of the biggest ships in the world.
Right.
Holds 10,000 people,
right.
And we get filled up, and where our company, seriously, on the bottom of the boat. I didn't mean anything, here, there.
Right.
And one of the announcements over the loudspeaker, anybody who's seasick will not go in the hospital.
Right.
But I'm not up to that yet. Alan, an unbelievable luck. So we go out. We go into the Hudson, and we're going into and as we're going along, and I wasn't sick yet, I look outside, behold it, and there maybe about 20 miles, who knows, a boat is going in the same direction.
Right.
Alan, imagine this.
Right.
And they're coming closer, and coming closer, and coming closer, and bam! Puts a hole into the Mauritania. We turn around, and we go back.
Right.
Again,
how long were you? Did they stay before you went? I mean, when you came back, how long was before they shipped you out again?
So they start fixing it.
Right.
And then, not the Leviathan, the Queen Mary comes in.
Right.
The Queen Mary comes in. They put us in the middle of the Hudson River.
Right.
They fix the hole, and we go.
Yeah.
And we went over to England.
Right.
And we were so fast. Usually you go with a convoy. We went by ourselves.
Right.
And instead of going straight, we went zigzagged.
Right.
And we didn't get any, and we came over to Liverpool.
Right.
And
okay, so Dad, when I know you got sick, but I don't want to get into that. I'd rather, so you get into England, and what do you do when you get there? I mean, what was your job?
Wait a minute. Before I even get a job, we get into England, and we have to be billeted somewhere.
Right.
So we were billeted in a place called Cheltenham.
Right.
Cheltenham, and the people who are listening, they know Cheltenham is a spa where generals come when they retire. Right. What a beautiful place. You said the Avon River goes right through it. Right. And one time...
This guy from the Bronx, right? The Jewish guy from the Bronx doesn't have a penny to his name. He's watching the Avon River in England.
I have to tell you, we're sitting... I met two of my friends. We were 3 Jewish boys who came. We're always together. Always we were together. So we're sitting on the Avon, the Cotswolds is what's called, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And swans are there, and one swan gets out of the water and starts running. we ever jumped into...
Running after you? What'd you do to that swan?
Swans, Swans are real vicious animals.
Okay, good.
So this was an aside.
Right. Okay.
But we were so we had a.
What'd you do in England though?
No, wait. Now comes, we were billeted in a house.
Right.
And then again, the most unbelievable thing.
Right.
So 2 boys, me and another fellow, and poor as hell, these people.
Right.
On the day off, knock on the door, and we have breakfast for you. And I went and beautiful breakfast. I ride home to my mother and to Dorothy.
Oh, yeah.
My mother says to Dorothy, "Don't believe him. He's being shot at. They're digging ditch."
You're being treated
now
like a
comes
king.
The unbelievable thing.
Right.
They have a son.
Right, but that's after. Right?
No,
Oh,
that's
the
same time.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know it was the same
in
time.
England. This is in England.
Right.
They have a son working on the Queen Mary.
Right.
Oh, no kidding. The Queen Mary, the son is on Queen Mary.
Right.
It's in my house.
In New York. Yeah, he knocked on the door, right?
No, wait.
Oh.
I asked him, please give me that son's address.
Right.
I'm going to write to him.
Right.
So I write to him. I go through channels.
Right.
And I say, look, I'm at your house. How about going to my house? And I write down the level, the telephone number. Now comes something. One day on 150th Street, and so I forgot the name. My mother-in-law and my wife are living.
Right.
There's a knock at the door, and they open up the door, and her sister is a young girl.
Right.
A British sailor. Hello, my name is so and so. I'm in your house. The girl from my sister-in-law falls in love with the guy.
I know, Sylvia Alberts, but it was Sylvia Matory.
Isn't this the most unbelievable thing? Their child is eating. Oh, he almost got sick. The Jewish cooking.
Right. So okay, so basically, so you're in England, right?
Yes.
And so, what was your job there?
As a clerk, make believe this is a batter. Anything, any kind of an object, a pencil, a book. It's never called a book. It's a BA3, a CAD, and in a short time, I'm in charge of I get 4 or 5 people.
Right.
I almost know the book by heart.
Right.
It was easy, and we had a good time until one day. We get notices. We're going to across the channel to Europe.
What part of Europe did you go to first?
First, we landed, and now we landed near where on D-Day. Yeah. On D-Day when they came over. Right. Oh, D-Day was a terrible thing.
But when?
Near Normandy. Near Cherbourg.
Right.
And I don't remember the name of that.
Right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
And then we went off, and where was our destination? Paris. Alan.
So you were stationed in Paris during World War II, after England?
9. Can you imagine living in Paris? But where in Paris? Wait, I'm not. Listen to. Wait a minute. We're on the way to Paris.
Right.
So we have to stop off in the woods or something. Right. And I was spick and span. Right. They hated me. Some of the fellas, the mud is not big enough. A general comes in. And this general goes right through the water. And when I saw him do that, I said, Mac, no more spick and span. Alan, my brand new things. I became one of them. Right. But Alan, we come to Paris. Right. Where are we stationed? The Arc de Triomphe. Through one side is the Champs-Élysées, what's a beautiful town, and on the other side, the Bois de Boulogne. But on this side, and cross street, Avenue Kléber. We're on Avenue Kléber, 59 Avenue Kléber. Right. And the whole thing, meaning that, how did we get it or something? Right. The United States Army took, Germany was in France for 3 years. Right. So everything that Germany had used, this house, this store, and everything, we used. So in other words, 59 Avenue Kléber was our department. 61 Avenue, Kléber.
Right.
If it wasn't used,
Right.
the French people.
So what did you do there?
I was a clerk.
Right.
And I wasn't in charge there anymore because they had a sergeant and they had other things. But I was good. I had the material that they needed and everything.
Okay. So how long were you stationed in France before
I was
you moved
stationed
again?
in France for 9 months.
And then what happened?
The Battle of the Bulge. Now, how did it affect the Battle of the Bulge? Oh, we were winning the war. The Germans were
What year
running.
was that about?
What?
Was it 1945 at this point?
1940, I think it's 1944.
Okay.
Either 1945, the war was over.
Okay, right.
So I don't remember.
Okay, so it's 44. Let's say it's 1944.
And we were reading in the paper that the Germans, new troops, new tanks, and they're coming through and they're killing the Americans.
Right.
They're going through. What did they do? They took half of Paris, not only every city in Paris, half of that, and they made infantrymen out of us.
Okay, so you went from a clerk to an infantryman.
Infantryman.
Okay, so what? And then what
Wait
happened?
a minute. What's an infantryman?
Right.
Unbelievable. They took us a 60-pound bag.
Right.
Not only me, everyone who was taken out.
Right.
A 60-pound bag. And we had to crawl up a hill. A live shell was shot over us, and all we were told to do, listen to the whee. So it stops, and that's when you're in trouble.
Okay.
And that's the only infantry training we got.
Right.
And Alan, I read this in a paper in the New York Times, the op-ed page.
Right.
People who was listening, they saw it too.
Right.
We won the war. And we lost it.
Okay, so you were heading towards the Battle of the Bulge.
Yes.
What? So what? I know something happened on the way.
Wait, naturally something. All of a sudden, we come to the Rhine.
Right.
We're going in there.
Right.
We stop. What happened? General Powell was ordered by General Eisenhower.
Right.
Do not cross the Rhine.
Right.
But what did he do? But he didn't. And what do you see across the Rhine? Pillboxes. Those pillboxes, if a bomb would hit, it really did happen. Many times, the bomb would hit the pillbox and fall away. That's how thick the Germans made it.
Right.
He sent out a raiding party, an exploratory party, whatever they were called, to see how they are.
Right.
The soldiers come back and says, General, you can walk across there. But there's no one there. They ran away.
So by the time you got there, the war for that battle was over.
For that battle was over, and the
there
war
were
was almost over.
And there were 70,000 American or 75,000 American. I read about it, and 100,000 Germans. It was unbelievable.
The Germans, they were killed. Both of them were killed, and Alan for nothing.
So, but the thing is, because Eisenhower decided that he wanted to be the conquering, whatever it was, you were spared going to the battle.
We were spared going to Paris.
Okay, to the Battle of the Bulge.
To the Battle of the Bulge.
So, okay, so what happened after that?
Now comes the most unbelievable thing in the world.
Right.
Before I talk that way, already I've been in 5 capitals. Right. Belgium and Holland and you name it. I was there.
Right.
The war ends.
Right.
The war is over.
Right.
Russia took over Berlin.
Right.
Was given Berlin, but even though Russia took over Berlin, Berlin was in 4 zones.
Right.
Maybe 4. Each one: France, United States, Russia, and England had a section.
Right.
And right near our camp, where we were, was a big camp.
Right.
The 2nd Armored Division.
Okay.
And well, maybe if you have to end the way, the 2nd Armored Division was given the honor of being the occupying American force in Berlin.
Okay, now I have a question. During that time, you were still a clerk, right?
Yes.
What was your function during that time?
Oh, no, wait a minute. I was no more clerk.
Oh.
Once I joined the 2nd Armored Division.
Right.
I thought, I don't remember what company. I get before the lieutenant.
Right.
Everybody, you have to, and he's looking me over and we're talking. What kind of arm did you use? And I didn't understand what I said. I don't understand you. What kind of, I said, I only use 2 type of arms. I use the carbine and the 45.
Right.
And both of them, when I'm on, he was drop dead. When I'm on, what kind of duty?
Guard?
Guard. When I'm on guard duty. Oh, well, please, I have to interrupt you. Can I? Or,
we're running out of time,
right.
Pop.
Time?
No, but what, okay, say you let, say
right, well, I was in Paris, so I'm on guard.
Right.
No, I'm not in Paris. In the O show.
Right.
In the United States.
Right.
Dorothy, my wife, is in there too. So she comes over to me, and we're both walking on guard, and we're walking. What do you know, my God? Walk. And one of my friends goes, "You crazy? What's the matter?" He said, "Boy, get her out." I don't know.
You were just strolling
we
with
were
Mom?
Strolling along.
And meanwhile, you're guarding the ocean, Missouri's.
Alan.
But boy, there's so many other stories. God, the one thing I mean, you made some money during World War II, but that's going to be another episode. That's the problem.
That's going to be the episode of episodes.
I know, but but the thing is, you've always been like a person who hates war. It's interesting that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll have to tell you, we skipped 2 important parts.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean,
we haven't got the time.
We don't have the time, so we can only talk about some other things right now. So, I mean, was there ever an issue for people like you who have always been anti-war and a very peaceful person to go to war? I mean, was there ever a moment that you said, I'm not going to join up? Or was it something that
we knew we had to, either you joined up or you were conscripted or.
No, but I mean, nowadays, I guess, or at least during the 60s when I was, I guess I turned 18 in 73, the option was to go to Canada.
Huh?
You know, I mean, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. Please, to go to Canada.
Right.
All right? You have a brother.
Right, that's true.
And I have a son-in-law.
Right.
It was either, I don't remember, was it the Vietnam War?
Yeah, it was all the Vietnam War. In other words, if
so what did I want to say? Dorothy, my wife and I went to Canada, to McGill University.
Right.
At that time, they were taking these people who didn't want to go to war, and whatever reason, and they took him.
Yeah.
And we found a house, everything good, but look.
I know. They got good numbers.
The highest numbers. The numbers were never called.
Thank God, because they were both, and also they had the 2S deferments, thank God,
all right.
which was the student deferments. But if they were called, I know that. I mean, I'm saying you never hesitated to, you knew you had to go.
That's right.
And did you know that the atrocities were happening to the people in Germany?
Everybody knew that. Everybody. Wait, one of the incidents. I hope we have enough time. I spoke to people.
Right.
And I asked them where in Paris.
Well,
where?
You're not going to have time for that. I mean, it's just too much. It's going to have to be another episode.
Where they lived. No, where they lived.
Right.
And I found out where they lived.
Right.
And the moment I found out where they lived, a new life occurred to me.
Right. And when you say where they lived, you were talking about the Jewish people in France.
The Jewish people, and a place called the Marais.
Right.
I mean, like Soho.
Right.
Downtown Soho.
Yeah, but that's a long story.
I know. A long story. The war, the whole war.
I know. It's a long story. How are we going to get to the present time? I don't know how we're going to get there. We're going to have to do some more episodes, Bob.
I know. But are we still on?
We're still on.
I know. Then I want to say something else.
But you got a minute.
No, I know. Wait, Alan.
Yeah.
It was. The expression it was, boy, you found a home in the army.
Right.
I actually didn't find, but I had a wonderful army life that very few people had, and that's the truth. I mean, there's no use lying.
Right.
I did things. I met people.
I mean, did you, in your wildest dreams, ever think that you'd see France, Brussels,
Never.
England?
My idea of a wonderful life,
Yes.
to make $100 a week,
Right.
and to be married, and to be children, and to have children, and we would have a wonderful life at $100 a week.
And then,
All my life we thought that.
you were born March 25th, 1915.
1915.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you'd be 97 years old now? And you'll be
never
98?
I never thought about being old.
Right. Well, you're not old.
No, it's not. No, meaning I never thought. Years go on, days go on. They never stop, Alan. They never.
And the thing that's good, I mean, like, unfortunately, not every. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. Thank God for you. For a lot of people your age, or a lot of people don't make it to your age, but before they get to that age, they're dealing with unbelievable health issues. And thank God we have you, Daddy. And the other thing is, I plan to do more episodes with you because I think you are living history. But unfortunately now, Dad, it's time to say goodnight. And
good night.
So it was good. It was great having Max Bendich as my guest. He's a great dad, and that's a wrap.